I think one of the most hideous things that you can do, which is probably going to end up getting this man a sentence straight to hell once he leaves this earth, is when you use the church and God to take advantage of God's people, God's children, and violate children in the way that this man did. Oh, I think that he is going to be one of the first ones on that train to the burning lake of lava, right? This is Satan's son, and he is no man of God at all. And I want to tell y'all what he did. He's just a horrible individual. But before we get into the details, H-Town, Houston, taking another L again. This is an update story. Let me give you a disclaimer about my content. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And I'm getting this story from click2houston.com, so thank you for the article. So Houston's taking an L. A local pastor who is charged with sexually assaulting an underage family member. Not a stranger at all, a family member. Also said to have had a child with her when she was 14 years old. So this nasty SOB also got this little child pregnant. You just can't get much dumber than this. And he did not take a plea deal in court today, and the case now goes to trial, which is going to be in February 21st of 2025, next year, here in a few months. So we are absolutely looking forward to this trial. All right? He is pleading not guilty, and our hope is people will presume him innocent, Pastor Robert L. Carter's attorney, Eric Davis, told KPRC2, and no, I don't believe he's innocent at all. I refuse. With this much evidence against this man, I refuse to believe him innocent till proven guilty. I think that he's guilty because he's an asshole, and I hope to see him burn in hell. I don't know how I would see that, but it would just be nice to know that it happened. But nonetheless, we first brought you this story last year in October after the allegations against Pastor Carter surfaced. Monday night, another one of the alleged victims' family members who spoke out against Carter back then is speaking to us again. Well, he's been back and forth to court over the last year, said the family member, who we are not identifying to protect the alleged victim's identity. Carter, who was a pastor and bishop, was charged with continued sexual abuse of a child and sexual assault of a child aged 14 years old to 17 years old, which would make him what? A hebeophile. Look it up. Pedophile is under the age of pubescence, 13 or under. Hebeophile is anything thereafter within a child's age. That would make him a hebeophile. How could you show your face in a church where you profess to keep the word or speak the word of God, said the alleged victim's family member. He says Carter abused this girl some 600 times. And of course, I've blocked her face out there. Blocked her face out. See, I can't see. 600 times. And I think I said this before as an indictment on the parents. As a father, as a parent, I refuse to leave my daughter in the hands of anybody. I don't even like, to be real with y'all, my daughter is a big, strong, very determined kid, not to be taken advantage of. And I even refuse to just let my daughter just go to her tennis practices or anything like that without her being monitored, without me or her mom or my mom or somebody being there with her. And that's tennis practice. Let alone this man having access not one, not two, not 3 times alone, not 4 times alone, not 5 times a lady, not 6 times, 7, 8, 9, 10, not 20, not 30, not 40, not 50, not 60, not 70, not 100, not 200, not 300, not 400, Not 500, 600 fucking times. How? How can you call yourself a parent if your child is around this man, your girl? Watch your boys too. Oh, they want your boys' booties now. They want your boys too. That's been going on. But we've always known you need to watch your daughters. 600? No, man, there's just no way. I don't see how the parents aren't being investigated and being charged. This girl was abused 600 times starting when she was just 7 years old. Then got her pregnant when she was 14 years old. Please, somebody tell me if I'm just not seeing this correctly. We got people watching from Perth, Australia in the building. Much love. Thank you. Australia's in the building. Let's go. She got pregnant when she was 14 years old. He says the girl gave birth in a closet, and then Carter took the baby away from her and dropped the baby off at a fire station, what is known as a safe haven location. They take the babies, no questions asked. And I just hope that baby is okay. And I think that was actually a picture of the baby that I had, which is right here, I believe. I think that's the baby. Safe and sound. I mean, it's horrific for one, but it's been waiting on the judicial system to step up and do what they can do, the family member said. Shortly after being charged last year, Carter posted a $200,000 bond, which means he probably had some access to about $20,000. The alleged victim's family member we've been speaking to says the baby that she had is now 6 years old and was adopted by a loving family. That child is in the best possible place, he said. As for the alleged victim herself, she was just tired. She was tired of being afraid, the family member said. The alleged victim's loved ones added, she's been working with the prosecutor and working to heal from the trauma. They quote, I've never met anyone, a woman stronger than this woman here. I've never met a woman who, knowing the facts, can get up every day and not go crazy, he said. To me, this is still a little girl. He's calling her a woman. She's 14 years old. That's not a woman. A mother, but not a woman. In addition to getting justice for this loved one, the family member hopes this story motivates other victims of sexual abuse to come forward. And let me see. I think they have a, if you need help, the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 800-799-7233. If you're in immediate danger, call 911. Or Houston Area Women's Center is 713-528-2121. I got a couple news stories. Let me listen to the disclaimer, and then we'll go from there. Or the fair usage. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Thank you for Maria for catching that. She said, the baby is the age right now that the mom was when the abuse started. Think about that. Talk about full circle, man. That is crazy. Can y'all help me share this story and make stories like this go viral? Hit that thumbs up, please. Leave a comment. Super easy to do. Don't cost you nothing. But please support this channel, okay? If y'all can, please. We want to have at least one thumb up for everybody that is watching. Easy thing to do, okay? Let me get these news videos up here. I did not have them up, but now I do. Let's hear what they had to say.
All right, and after a story that we've been following for over a year now, a local pastor was charged with sexual...
And I did see y'all say that earlier. You said he's not a man. That's not a pastor. He's a predator. And I agree with you. Thank you for saying that.
All right, and after a story that we've been following for over a year now, a local pastor was charged with sexually assaulting an underage family member whom he allegedly impregnated when the victim was just 14 years old. That pastor is due back in court tomorrow for a pre-trial hearing. We first brought you the story last year after the allegations surfaced. Tonight, another one of the alleged victim's relatives who spoke out against the pastor then is speaking to us again. KPRC2's Devin Clark is live downtown Houston with his message ahead of tomorrow's hearing.
Well, he's been back and forth to court over the last year.
In October last year, we told you about Pastor Robert L. Carter, who was charged with continued sexual abuse of a child and sexual assault of a child aged 14 to 17. Carter accused of doing this to a young family member.
How could you show your face in a church where you profess to keep the word or speak the word of God?
This family member, who we are not identifying as to protect the alleged victim's identity, says Carter abused the girl some 600 times, starting when she was just 7 years old, then got her pregnant when she was 14. He says the girl gave birth in a closet. Then Carter took their baby and dropped him off at a fire station.
I mean, it's horrific for one, but it's just been waiting on the judicial system to, you know, step in and do what they can do.
This family member says Carter must plead guilty by tomorrow or go to trial, while the Harris County District Attorney's Office says they cannot comment on plea deals before they happen. We have confirmed Carter is due back in court tomorrow.
They have a new judge, a no-nonsense judge, and I think that she's moving the case along as best she can.
Shortly after being charged, Carter posted the $200,000 bond. The alleged victim's family member we've been speaking to says the baby she had, now 6 years old, was adopted by a loving family.
That child is in the best place.
When it comes to where the family was, to answer your question, I'm just totally confused by that, because 600 access times to this kid just all these years. I don't care if you're a family member or a pastor. I don't care if it was Jesus himself. You should not have had access to this child that many times and you didn't know nothing, didn't suspect nothing. How do you not know that your kid is at 14 years old is pregnant? Or whatever age. No? When did this girl get pregnant? Oh my God, I don't even want to think about it. It's just disgusting.
Possible.
As for the alleged victim herself,
she was just tired. She was tired of being afraid.
Her loved one adds she's been working with the prosecutor and working to heal from the trauma Carter caused.
I've never met a woman stronger than that woman.
She's a girl, not a woman.
I've never met a woman who, knowing the facts, can get up every day and not go crazy.
In addition to justice for his loved one, the man you heard from says he hopes this story motivates other potential victims of sexual abuse to come forward. We have a list of resources right now on our website, click2houston.com. And again, Carter due back in court right behind me tomorrow. Reporting outside of the Harris County Criminal Justice Center, Devin Clark, KPRC 2 News.
Horrible. Now to a very disturbing
Motivates
story. A local pastor is in jail accused of sexually assaulting a family member several hundred times. And court documents say it happened in parking lots in 2 local churches. ABC 13's Giovanni Ligi is live from the Harris County Jail tonight, breaking down everything we know. Giovanni?
Well, court documents
Hi guys.
The sexual assault started when this little girl was just 7 years old. It lasted for almost a decade, and at one point, he even got her pregnant. 39-year-old Robert Carter is the man police said sexually assaulted his own family member. Documents showing this happened over the span of a decade, at least 600 times. Now he's in jail for continuous sexual abuse of a child. Court documents showing the victim told police the assault would happen almost nightly. And when she turned 16, the documents showing he got her pregnant. The documents showing she had the baby in a closet, and he then took it to a nearby fire station. Some of the details in these documents are too graphic to show. Investigators accusing Carter of doing this at multiple locations. It started in 2008 when the child was only 7 years old. he would offer to give her candy in exchange for sexual acts. Investigators saying he would do this when other family members were sleeping, telling the child if she told anyone, nobody would believe her. The victim telling investigators it would happen at the church he worked at in Sunnyside, in the back of this Summerwood HEB parking lot before he would take her to school, and when she was older, at another church nearby where she refused. The document showing that he told her if she didn't do what he asked, he would make her life a living hell. And now, more than a decade after this assault started, Carter is here in jail, held on a $100,000 bond, due back in court tomorrow.
A local pastor now facing continuous sexual assault of a child. According to official documents, Robert L. Carter repeatedly raped a young family member, even impregnating her.
Tonight, her father is speaking only to our Devin Clark, who is live outside of HBD headquarters with further details. Devin.
I got to tell you, this warrant states that the rapes started when this girl was just 7 years old and lasted well into her late teens, happening at least 600 times with a felony charge now filed. The alleged victim's father is speaking out, but we do want to warn you, what you're about to hear may be extremely disturbing.
She had been around this monster since she was about 6 years old.
This man asked not to be identified as to protect his daughter's identity. That isn't stopping him from speaking out about this man, 39-year-old Robert L. Carter, who he says was a family member to his daughter.
So he's always been big to her, you know, and I had realized that she'd been fearful.
The man, whose profile on the Black Preachers Network website has him listed as a bishop and senior pastor, is now an accused rapist.
I don't understand, you know, how you can carry yourself, walk around preaching the word and living, you know, a lie.
According to Carter's arrest warrant filed last month, the abuse began back in 2008 when the victim was 7 years old. It states he would go in her room and make her perform a sex act on him on a nightly basis.
How? Like, how could...
On a nightly, but that's what I'm saying. Like, how? Where the parents at? Nightly, 600 times?
Did you even get aroused? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
The warrant states the abuse got worse over the years and that it would happen in multiple locations, including their home when everyone was asleep, Carter's grandmother's home, and behind an HEB in the parking lot before dropping the victim off at school. The document also states that Carter would bring the victim here to the Greater Bible Way Church in Sunnyside, where he had an office, and rape her.
She's had an episode where she ended up in the hospital, you know, for psychiatric reasons.
The warrant states she secretly had Carter's baby.
What if she would have died that night? She had the baby in the closet by herself. And he came and got the baby and took the baby to a fire station and dropped the baby off.
With many questions, we went to Carter's address listed on the warrant, but no one seemed to be home, so we called him.
The person you are calling is not available. Record your message at the tone.
No answer.
While the warrant has been filed, we understand that Carter has not been taken into custody at this time. As for the baby mentioned in the story, the father you heard from says his daughter is in the process of trying to get the child back. Reporting live outside of HBD headquarters tonight, Devin Clark, KPRC 2 News.
So I think that we're getting ready to get more details, because once this goes to trial, now everything has to come out. You said it's the father speaking. So here's the thing. Here's what's going to be interesting about trial, because all of the stuff that was redacted, including probably the little girl that was assaulted in this situation over all those years, all that many times, all that abuse that was going on, we're going to find out who the mother and father are, who the caretakers or whatever. How did he have this much access, this much time, this many people didn't know, for it to go on this long? That's what trial is going to tell us, every bit of that. So we are absolutely going to follow this. So to be real, I like expose. I do, especially when it comes to these dirt devil criminals. You know, these Bible thumpers. I love to expose them, and I want the world to know the type of detriment that he is, and hope that he gets a life sentence in prison, okay? So when that starts, the process starts, we're definitely going to follow the trial. So let's get it. AFC, stand by, like, share, subscribe. Follow this story, please. If you have any other information, keep that baby in your prayers. AFCmatters@gmail.com. Hit my email address if you need anything, or if you have additional information, or if you know family members that want to come on my show and speak, y'all can hit me up directly. I'll be glad to talk to you, okay? Thank you.